Why is the 2.7-liter EcoBoost in this 2018 F-150 still pulling clean compression at 168,000 miles, while the 3.5-liter sitting next to it lost both turbos at 91,000? Same year, same configuration, same fuel, same owner profile. I have been working on Ford EcoBoost engines for over 20 years. When you put the field reliability data from the 2.7 Gen 2 next to the 3.5 Gen 2 across the same model years, the engine almost every owner thinks is the weaker choice. The one Ford marketed as the lower-tier option is the engine that lasts longer, costs less to keep alive, and produces the lower 5-year repair bill by a margin most owners would not believe until they ran the numbers themselves. The brutal part of that bill is not who pays it. The brutal part is who is paying it right now without knowing what they are paying for. Owners who upgraded from a 2.7 to a 3.5 for towing capacity they never used. Owners who walked past a 2.7 on a used lot because it sounded smaller. Owners who bought the 3.5 because the sticker said it made more horsepower. Ford engineered the 2.7 with a level of durability the 3.5 was not given, then marketed the 3.5 above it. The 200,000-mile data is now in. The 5-year repair math is now visible. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what the 2.7 has that the 3.5 does not, and what the 5-year bill is for owning the wrong one. The 2.7-liter EcoBoost turbo failure rate is 8%. The 3.5-liter is 12% in the same window. The 2.7-liter EcoBoost Gen 2 introduced for 2018 production has the lowest turbocharger failure rate of any turbocharged engine Ford has ever put in the F-150 platform, 8% in the 90,000 to 130,000 mile window. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost Gen 2 in the same year range runs 12% in the same window. That 4-point gap is not noise. Across the roughly 600,000 trucks in that fleet, 4% is approximately 24,000 owners paying for a turbocharger replacement they would not have paid for if they had bought the smaller engine. Here is where it gets interesting. The smaller turbochargers on the 2.7 are spinning at lower absolute RPM under matched load. Lower shaft speed means lower bearing temperature, lower oil shear, and longer bearing life. The compressor wheels are operating with more thermal margin to their design envelope. The wastegate actuator on the 2.7 is also a different design from the 3.5, less prone to the actuator rod sticking that causes the cascade overboost failures on the larger engine. The 2.7 was engineered with the durability margin Ford did not give the 3.5, because the 3.5 was the marketing flagship and the 2.7 was the volume engine that had to survive fleet duty. I had a 2019 F-150 2.7-liter come in at 156,000 miles for a routine plug-and coil service. The owner ran a small business, and the truck had been on long route delivery duty since he bought it new. The turbos were original. Bearing play was within factory spec. No wastegate codes had ever been logged. Compression across all 4 cylinders within 2%. I have not seen a 3.5-liter Gen 2 with 156,000 miles of long route duty produce that data set. Total service that visit, including the plugs and coils he came in for, $740. $60 wastegate solenoid as preventive replacement at 90,000 miles versus the $5,600 turbo cascade the 3.5-liter owner pays for at the same mileage. That is the choice. And on the 2.7, it is the choice you almost never have to make. Campaign 24 and 12 gives you a 10-year, 150,000-mile extended warranty you probably do not know you have. In August 2024, Ford issued Recall 24V635000 covering the 2021 and 2022 model year 2.7-liter EcoBoost trucks for an intake valve issue. Ford had been investigating the problem internally since January 2022, 2.5 years before the recall was filed. The investigation period mattered, because in parallel with the recall, Ford issued Campaign 2.4N12. This is where most people get it completely wrong. Campaign 2.4N12 is not the recall. Campaign 2.4N12 is a 10-year, 150,000-mile extended warranty extension that Ford applied to the engines affected by the intake valve concern. Most 2021 and 2022 2.7-liter EcoBoost owners are running on extended coverage they have no idea they have. Coverage that, in practical terms, gives them roughly $4,500 to $8,000 of risk protection that any standard powertrain warranty would never touch at that mileage. Owners who have paid out of pocket for repairs that should have been covered under 2.4 are eligible for reimbursement. A 2021 F-150 2.7 liter came in at 78,000 miles with a misfire and a low compression reading on cylinder 3. The owner had been quoted $3,800 for top-end work at an independent shop. I pulled his VIN against the 2.4 database. He was covered. Ford paid for the repair, the parts, the labor, and the rental. His out-of-pocket, $0. He had been about to authorize the work and pay cash because he had no idea the coverage existed. $0 covered repair under campaign 2.4 versus $3,800 paid out of pocket because the coverage was never communicated. That is the choice, and the only way to lose it is to not check your VIN. The 5-year repair math on the wrong EcoBoost is where the brutal number lives. Take a 2019 F-150 with the 2.7-liter EcoBoost purchased used at 60,000 miles for $28,000 with a planned 5-year ownership reaching 150,000 miles. Spread of probable major repairs, spark plugs and coils at 100,000 miles, $700. Wastegate solenoid is preventive at $90,000, $60. VCT solenoids, $300. Transmission fluid and filter at 60,000 and 110,000 miles, $500 total. Front differential and transfer case service, $450. Probable turbo intervention given the 8% failure rate, roughly $250 weighted across the population. Total 5-year repair spend, approximately $2,260. Resale at 150,000 miles in the 2026 used market, approximately $17,500. Now run the same purchase price and the same 5-year horizon on a 2019 3.5 liter. Wastegate solenoid not replaced preventively because the owner did not know to, $0 saved. Single turbo replacement at 105,000 miles given the 12% failure rate weighted across the population, $1,800 weighted. VCT solenoid replacement before phaser failure if caught early, $300. If not caught early, full phaser job because CSP21N03 expired January 1st, 2023, $5,800 weighted. Spark plugs and coils, $700. Transmission service, $500. Probable head gasket intervention given Gen 2 3.5 cooling stress at 130,000 to 150,000, $1,000 to $400 weighted. Total 5-year repair spend on the 3.5, approximately $10,500. Resale at $150,000 with documented turbo and phaser history, approximately $13,000. The brutal number is the math gap. Same truck class, same year, same body, same 5-year window. The 2.7 owner is $8,240 ahead of the 3.5 owner before they ever talk about fuel economy, because the smaller engine was given the durability margin the larger one was not. And in 2026, with the 2.7 producing 325 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, the towing and hauling argument that justified the upgrade no longer holds for any use case that does not exceed 9,000 pounds. I had a customer who traded a 2018 2.7 liter at 89,000 miles for a 2023.5 liter, intending to step up. 18 months later, he was sitting in my shop with $4,200 in cam phaser quotes on a truck he had owned for less than 2 years. The 2.7 he traded in went to another buyer the same week and is currently approaching 140,000 miles on its second owner without intervention. $8,240 saved over 5 years on the right engine versus $8,240 spent on the wrong one. That is the choice, and most owners make it standing in the showroom without ever seeing the data. If you are still watching, you already know more about how Ford engineered durability margin into the 2.7 than most 2.7 owners ever will. The next part is the part the 3.5 owners need to hear. Because if you cannot trade your way out of the engine you have, you can still protect what is left of the 200,000-mile life it was capable of giving you. What the 2.7 does not have that, the 3.5 does. The 2.7 EcoBoost does not share the cam phaser system that produced the CSP21N03 program on the 3.5. The 2.7 uses a different VCT solenoid mounting and a phaser design that has not produced the same failure pattern across the fleet. The 2.7 does not carry the wastegate actuator rod geometry that drives the 3.5's most common turbo cascade. The 2.7 cooling system runs roughly 8 to 12 degrees cooler under matched load because the smaller displacement produces less waste heat. And that single fact is the reason the head gasket failure rate on the 2.7 is approximately 1/3 of the 3.5's at the same mileage. And it gets worse for the 3.5. The 3.5 was Ford's marketing case. The 2.7 was Ford's engineering case. Every component on the 3.5 was specified to a higher absolute output target. Every component on the 2.7 was specified to a higher durability margin per output unit. The 3.5 was the engine that had to win the spec sheet. The 2.7 was the engine that had to survive the fleet. Across 200,000 miles of real use, the spec sheet stops mattering and the survival data is what is left. A 2017 F-150 2.7 liter came in at 196,000 miles, original turbos, original wastegate actuators. The owner serviced the oil every 5,000 miles with 5W30 instead of the factory 5W20 from 80,000 miles on. He turned eco mode off at 60,000 miles and ran the truck in tow/haul for his commute. The engine pulled compression within 4% across all cylinders. The transmission had been serviced twice. No major intervention had ever been required. He drove it home that afternoon. $200 oil service every 5,000 miles and 5W30 versus the $4,500 to $6,000 turbo replacement the 3.5 owner statistically pays for in the same window. That is the choice. What keeps the 2.7 alive to 250,000? The 2.7 EcoBoost responds to 4 pieces of care that almost nobody is told to do. Oil service at 5,000-mile intervals using 5W30 instead of the factory 5W20 recommendation after 80,000 miles. Wastegate solenoid replacement at 90,000 miles as preventive before any code ever sets. VCT solenoid replacement at 100,000 to 110,000 miles before any rattle is heard. Transmission fluid service at 50,000 and 100,000 miles. Stay with me, because none of these are expensive, none of them require a specialist, and all of them together cost less than the cheapest single major repair the 3.5 owner faces in the same window. The 2.7 owners who skip them are paying the 3.5 bill anyway on an engine that was given the durability margin to never need it. But don't stop there, because the single most important decision on the 2.7 is whether the truck operates in eco mode or in tow/haul during normal commute traffic. Eco mode produces 340 shift events per 10 miles in the 10R80 transmission paired to the 2.7. Tow/haul produces 190. The 2.7 is the engine that survives the engine wear. The 10R80 behind it is what kills the truck before the engine ever gets to its real life. Turn eco off. Engage tow/haul for the commute. The engine will give you 250,000 miles. The transmission will give you most of them back. The 200,000 truth in one line. The 2.7-liter EcoBoost is the engine Ford engineered to last. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost is the engine Ford marketed to win. The 5-year repair bill is brutal for the owners who chose the wrong one, and forgiving for the owners who chose the right one and serviced it correctly. If you have the 2.7, you are sitting on the longest-lasting turbocharged half-ton engine Ford has ever built. Service the oil correctly, replace the $60 wastegate solenoid before it fails. Check your VIN against Campaign 2 for N12 in case Ford owes you a repair. Turn eco mode off. The 200,000-mile truth is that this engine was given the margin to make it there. Almost nothing else in the truck was. The 2017 through 2022 trucks with the 2.7-liter have one wastegate symptom that shows up between 80,000 and 100,000 miles, long before any code is set, and it is the single test that separates the 2.7 owners who reach 200,000 miles from the 2.7 owners who lose a turbo at 110,000 to a $50 part. That symptom, and the 90-second driveway test that catches it, is the next video.